Hello, wealthy, successful, money making traders. This is your trader's friend. Thank you for joining me for another video. Guys, I'm so glad you can be here with me. Before you, you have the Euro USD on the 5-minute time frame. And this has actually been kind of chopping back and forth for about the last 2 hours of the New York opening. So I am actually waiting for an opportunity to get into the market. I'm waiting for something to pull me in. And you may look at this chart and say, oh, well, you've missed some opportunities. However, I'm looking for the opportunity that's going to say, hey, this is your highest probability trade. So right now, it's not quite saying that. Nothing has happened to really pull me into the market. This actually looks like a possible good shorting opportunity. Um, but we're going to leave that off and let that candle do what it does. So let's just, oh, I forgot the next video I was supposed to make with the moving averages. So this morning is going to be price action, and I'm just going to have to owe you that other video. So right now, let's go ahead and take a look at this on a higher time frame. So let's look at this on the 15-minute time frame and see what's been going on for the last few days or so. So let's shrink that a little bit. Okay, these are notes to self, but you can ignore the notes to self. So you can see that we have a resistance support, and then we have another resistance support that I've put in there. And then move back to the 5-minute time frame. So what it is that I'm looking for something very definite to pull me into this market. Something definite would be, sorry, I meant to shrink that some. So if I hit this next level support and I got a confirmation from the candles that it was time to short, then that would be more what I was looking for. A bounce off of this trend line would do it. If I got a strong bearish run like this and then I got in a gulf like that, that kind of thing would pull me into the market. But this kind of chopping back and forth has just made me watch the market this morning. And right now, the price is still kind of bouncing back and forth, but nothing significant to really pull me into the market. So for the last 2 hours, I've just kind of been waiting. So right now, we're going to wait for a trade setup and see, sorry about that, and see what we can get into. Now, I also want to say for the record, and it's something that I have said in the past, if you are in a trend channel um, where you are range bound, then the middle, you don't want to do anything in the middle, because as you can see, you get lots of kind of false signals that just go nowhere. So your advantage will come with a very definite move that is, and you can see now we're on the next candle, and you see about what, 3 minutes ago that candle was way down here. So, and you can see how the bulls managed to push that price back up until it just ran it up, and now it's pink. So now we have a tail on this candle. So it may flop around for a little bit, but we need something very definite to pull us into this market. We had a really huge candle here, little bitty price action across there, that would do it for me. But we're looking for something that definitely says, okay, you're going to get the advantage now. So when I get into the market, I'm looking for a sure thing, something that I feel very confident about as far as the advantage. And along the way, I may miss opportunities, but I want the trade that's going to give me the biggest possible advantage. And even with that, sometimes I still miss it. So there are going to be times that you're going to wait for a trade, and that trade may not pan out the way that you want. But no need to worry or sweat because the right trade will come. I hate when this thing does this. And this is this Windows 10, and it didn't used to do this. Now this actually looks like it may be a legitimate opportunity. It may not. You already know the stop is going to be a few pips above the high. So that stop loss is going to be at um, 61, or just make that 62, and even 62. And I'll tell you why it is I got into this so that you can fully understand it. I was tempted to get in this one when it was way down here, needed to see how it closed, but this actually closed in an engulf, and you can see that it's been on a bullish run for a while. This one may work, it may not, and I'm going to go ahead and reshort this. That way, if I get stopped out, I'll just wait for another opportunity to enter. Okay, guys, we clearly lost our advantage, so we will wait for the next trade setup. I kind of suspected that we didn't really have an advantage when we got this candle, but now we're going to wait for the next trade setup, and I went ahead and closed myself out because you can clearly see that we're engulfing um, this candle. Now, if this candle shoots up with no support, then we're back in again. And that's the great thing about the market is when you make a boo-boo, it gives you the opportunity to still make money, and that's not the end of your trading day. So all day long, the market is handing you opportunities to make it right, even when you screw up. So you see that on my only two trades of the day, they turned out not to be profitable trades. So now we're going to wait and see how this next candle closes. And I was a little bit suspect of that the last entry, but I was thinking, do you know what? I don't want to miss this if indeed it is an opportunity. So you can see we came down and we got in profit. We got in as much profit, honestly, as we just closed out of in a loss. So, loss wasn't that big, no big deal. That can be recovered in one easy candle. So, at any rate, keep those losses small. We're going to sit up and we're going to wait for another trading opportunity. Okay, traders, let's short this. I think that is what I'm looking for. And of course, you know that the stop is just right above this candle, a few pips. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, as you can see right now, we are in profit, and it took us 5 hours to get this trade. So let's review what's going on in this trade. And as you can see, we're still in this trade as opposed to what went on with the trade before. So this was actually the trade before. I didn't wait until we hit that level of resistance. It was an engulf. It was like, yeah, we'll take a chance on that. So we lost about one candle on this one trade. But look at how many candles we've gained in this new trade. So, well, we have a piece of that candle, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we lost a candle and we gained 6 candles. So that is the power of cutting a bad trade quickly. Get out of bad trades as quickly as possible. The only mistake that I made in this, and I realized it later, is that I didn't reshort that again. So that was the mistake that I made in this one. I don't know if I'm going to ride this trade all the way out. Actually, I'm not, because I have a lunch appointment at Dave & Buster's today. So that appointment is in approximately 50 minutes from now, and I have not gotten dressed. So I'll probably cut this trade earlier. I'll let it kind of hang around for a while, but either way, you know that we are going to close this in profit. And the profit from this one trade is actually, and it already has exceeded the 2 cuts of the other trade. So that's the power of cutting a trade quickly versus getting into the right trade. So the market is always giving you opportunities to get out of bad trades and to get into good trades. Whoops. It just occurred to me that perhaps I did not make myself clear on why I entered this trade. So let's go back and talk about why it was I entered this trade. So you saw the level of resistance from earlier. We had this strong run up and breaking close above this resistance. However, we did not get any support on the next candle. So that is why it was that I entered that trade. And I hope that that's clear. This is an addition to the original. I have unplugged the internet to get this as close as possible, and I'm going to try to remember what I was saying in the other video. For some reason, the sound quality messed up, and it was a 15-minute video, and YouTube cut it down to 12 minutes 20 seconds. I spent the night trying to fix it, then it just occurred to me that I can just make an addition and try to remember what I was saying earlier. This was our initial entry, and you know that we got stopped out of one candle with two positions, and then we re-entered here. We gained 43 and a half candles worth of profit. So I do want to remind you to keep your losses small. And the market is wonderfully generous on this point in letting you know when you have not entered the best trade setup. So when the market shows you that you have not entered the trade setup that's going to give you the biggest advantage, cut it as soon as you know. Because if you continue to follow your rules and re-enter the market on a better trade setup, then the market will reward your discipline and your obedience to your rules. And I want to remind you that you can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Have a wonderful, terrific trading week. Oops.